What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. Obviously, another big shout out to my general, Richard Morris, for coming through and boosting up your man the YB's pitiful coins situation right now. After his man AJ bumped him with a few coins still, so big love for that. Now, today's topic, on the topic of Mr. the Coin Snatcher, the Coin Bumper, Mr. WilliamHill.com. Yeah? The Coin Snatcher. Never mind. Anthony, the Coin Snatcher, Joshua. Yeah? So, about 2 days ago now, your man's Mr. Anthony Mandela Ghandi, Joshua, came through and posted a smoky message to his fans. He said, I'm still pissed about the fight. I'm going to take the bull by the horns and do everything in my power to get things right. Now, I find this quite interesting because I don't care what no one says. Your man's Mr. Mandela Ghandi is locked in to the YB's channel. That's what we do know. Because guess what? Who the only one who been saying that the fact we have to hear from Eddie Hearn about how angry he is? In fact, I've got another video coming soon. Yeah? I think it was BT Sport. Someone did a video. Someone interviewed Chris. I didn't realise this. I thought Cristiano Ronaldo was still at Real Madrid. Now I've clocked he's at Man United. Anyway, 2-2s. I don't really watch football, so I see an interview with Cristiano Ronaldo on, and I forgot what they were talking about. They were talking about something, and they were basically saying that essentially Cristiano was saying he ain't gonna apologise for being angry when they lose. That's who he is. And if people don't like it, apparently some of the fans, I'm not sure, some of the fans, some of the media don't like the fact that he getting mad when he's losing. It's like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. I'm sorry, but this is the thing. A lot of people who haven't been involved in high-level sport, you don't know. That's how you're supposed to be feeling. It's not all, a lot of, obviously, it's only a small percentage of the population can be involved in high-level sport. It's not kids' football. Oh, well, we all turn up, we all get a medal. And especially in 2021, where everyone gets a medal these days. So if you haven't really been involved with it, you don't understand the emotional connection you have with what you're doing, especially when you're putting your life into it. If you commit your life to something, and you're not angry, there's something wrong. And that's what the whole AJ situation is. I'm sorry, I don't know, I've never been to AJ's level, but I've been to a decent level, and I've committed years of my life to something before, and it's flopped. Yeah? But then again, maybe that's part of the thing we're talking about here, because I've just said to you that I committed my life to something, and it flopped. Maybe because he's been so successful, he finds it hard to be mad. Wait a minute, you know what I mean? It's one thing for the YB to be mad, because I flopped, and I'm in the basement. But if you've got $100 million in the bank, I've lost, but what's there really to be bitter about? I've lost this one fight, but my bank winning. Yeah? Yeah? I lost this one fight, but I've still got plenty of coins. Unlike the YB, who me and William Hill bumped this weekend. Yeah? With your dodgy advice. Wait a minute. How you can tell your fans, oh yeah, I'm going back to Kronk. I'm going back to KOs. I had one goofy in my comments say, oh, YB, you can't blame AJ for gambling. What? You can't blame Mr. William Hill. I wouldn't mind so much yet if AJ came out and said, people, I don't support gambling. That'd be one thing. But the fact my man got William Hill posted everywhere, what am I supposed to do? Innit? Think about it for a second. What am I supposed to do when William Hill posted everywhere? Oops. Yeah? And you know what? It's not even about the William Hill. For me, it's the fact that I didn't tell him to go and gas everyone up 2 days before the fight. Oh, yeah, I'm going back to Kronk. I did videos on it. I did videos on the fact 2 days before, or 36 hours before, he was saying, yeah, Kronk. Yeah, KOs. Oops. So don't give me that rubbish about it's not his fault. It is his fault, because if it was me, yeah, let me tell you, man, something right now. If the YB has a scrap with someone in a fight, yeah, and I tell you, man, yeah, it's straight KOs, and I go in there and flap, I'm going to have to come out and apologise. Where was his apology at? I swear to God. The least I'll do is come out and say, listen, man, I'm not in a position to pay you, man, back, but I feel bad. I feel bad that I gassed you man up and went in there and flapped. I have to do it. That's what must happen. Where was that apology at? All we got, in AJ's post-fight interview, he said, "Oh, the fans need to appreciate I put a lot of work in." Put a lot of work in? I put a lot of coins in. Got bumped. But I put a lot of work in. You got paid. William Hill paid you for bumping me. Yeah? You're doing nice right now. You, the YB's coins nice your sponsorship. But you want to appreciate the coins all your fans put in and got bumped for. How about that? Since we're talking about appreciating things. Anyway, let's get back to the topic, because obviously I've digressed, but it's all relevant, because listen, what we know is everything that comes out of the YB's chops to do with this topic is A1. Yeah? This ain't no Eddie Hearn thing. I'm done with coming out here and massaging the truth. After the Ruiz 2 fight, yeah, I got to be honest with you, man. I massaged the truth, and I even told my Patreon generals that, listen, it's kind of controversial right now. I can't say what I want to say on YouTube because people are sensitive. But I'm done being sensitive now. I'm done having to go along to get along. The facts are the facts, and no one else ain't saying it. Everyone, "Oh, YB, you should have supported him so you should support him no matter what." I am supporting him. Yeah? There's too many flappers. There's too many massagers around him. The last thing he needs is another jobber Clayton, or Fernando Alonso, or Rob McCrappen. Did you not hear the corner advice? He don't need no more people telling him it's brilliant, telling him it's going great. That's what you don't need. I'm telling exactly where it is. And if you don't like it, it's because truth hurts. Because guess what? Ain't no one trying to tell Tyson Fury the truth. Oops. Ain't no one trying to tell Deontay Wilder the truth. Oops. Because the truth is with Deontay Wilder, he ain't got no skills. But we can't knock his... He had no skills, but you know what I'm saying? He threw 100 effort, or he threw 100 times of no skills at Tyson Fury. That's all you can ask for. We can't ask him to have 100 IQ. We can't ask him to be Floyd Mayweather. We can ask him to go in there and whatever you have got, put it on someone. That's all we ask for. And to be honest, I don't even ask for 100% every time. It's difficult to give 100% every time. Although, there is an argument that, wait there a minute, you're only fighting twice a year, so that's really the least you can do. You know what I'm saying? For $50 million twice a year, wait there a minute, for 40 minutes twice a year, you can't give 100%. You know what I'm saying? But even that, I'm going to be more than willing to be fair. Just give us 80 or 90%. Don't go in there and do that. I'm telling you now, let me tell you something right now. That AJ versus Usyk fight was about 10%. I've seen tougher spars. I've seen people be more committed. I've seen Floyd Mayweather doghouse spars on YouTube that had more commitment and more passion than went on in that $50 million fight. Their man was in there giving their brain cells up for free. Now, it's not the smartest thing, but ultimately, when you're getting paid $50 million, I don't want to hear about nothing else. I don't want to hear, well, YB, it's not rock'em sock'em. YB, but his head. I told you before, if you're worried about your head, retire. Or tell your fans, I'm worried about my head. I don't really want to get stuck in. Don't go in there, gas your fans up, yeah? And then do the opposite. That's not right. That's not fair. If you did that in the financial world, you put in jail. You can't say you're going to do something and then do the opposite. Get locked up. Anyway, like I said, let's go back to the post. So AJ posted up that he's still pissed about the fight. And like I told you a minute ago, I don't care what no one says. This message came. I put a video out, 3-4 days ago now. And I said, why is it the only time we hear about how angry AJ is, it's through Eddie Hearn? That's not normal. What is that? Why is that? I've never heard of something so absurd before. I've never heard of an athlete communicating their feelings through their management team. That's mental. If you're mad about the fight, show it. And to be honest, you shouldn't have to be told that. It's a bit like how you shouldn't have to be told to get stuck in. That should just be in you, to be honest with you. You shouldn't really need that. But I'm happy to give the benefit of the doubt this time. But let's make sure everyone's clear though. This will be the last time he gets the benefit of the doubt. In as much as if he goes in there and flaps again, I don't want to hear nothing about strategy. I don't want to hear nothing about it's his team. It's AJ. Let's get that straight right now, people. Yeah? Even if he stays as Rob McCrappen, I'm still not going to blame Rob. Yes, Rob will still be crap and useless. Yes, Fernando Alonso and Jobber Clayton will be as useless too. But the problem will be AJ 100%. Because he knows now. He's saying it himself. Still pissed. I'm going to take the bull by the horn. So there's no confusion now. Yeah? I can't lie to you though. It was suspect that he said Kronk. Why was he telling us Kronk 2 days before? Why was he telling us KOs? And then went there and performed like that? That's a problem there. That there shows you intentions and nuts aren't lining up. I think what he meant to say was that I think AJ going into the Usyk fight thought it would be another Pulev. I think he thought I'll go in there, not do much and get a late KO. But I warned him, I said listen, you went life and death with Pulev, yeah? Life and death. That's a fact. You had one good round in round 3, and then that round 11 wasn't even good. Pulev was just old. Anyone else who was worth anything, you wouldn't have got out there that night. It's a fact. Anyone else who's half decent, you weren't going nowhere because you didn't put no work in. For some reason, though, delusional AJ fans was gassing it. Nah, YB. He was outboxing him. Nah, YB. Mayweather. Nah, YB. He using his brain. That was not a boxing performance. It was a whole bunch of flappery going on. That round 3 he went crazy in, and then he did nothing for 8 rounds. And even that last round, he got lucky with right hand against an old man. People don't realise yet that 40 is really old, you know. Seriously, it's really old. Like, Lennox Lewis at 38, Lennox Lewis, an all-time great, looked tired at 38. And he's an all-time great. What do you think these dudes, Povetkin, Pulev at 40, who are not as good as Lennox Lewis, what do you think they're going to do? And they've got inferior frames to AJ as well. Are you really shocked that Pulev rolled over at the end? I wasn't. But much like AJ and his fans, you man thought that, yeah, but I'll just go in there, not do much for the whole fight, and then Usyk will roll over. Oops, how'd that work out for you? You ended up the one nearly rolling over, to be fair with you. Another round, AJ, you saw it. The way he went back to the corner, I swear to another round, he was going out on his back. 100%. He was going out on his back. And in a way, I think I'd rather watch that, to be honest with you. Why? Because from what I'm hearing now, and the fact that he ain't likely to be changing teams, and the fact that he still thinks that, from what I'm hearing, yeah? From what I'm hearing, he went to a few gyms for a few days, trying to nick little bits and bobs to take back to Rob McCrappen. Yeah? To take back to his daddy, Rob McCrappen. Yeah? That's what I'm hearing. I'm not hearing he went there to really commit. I mean, Eddie Hearn confirmed it. And I can't understand, why would Eddie Hearn tell everyone, nah, he's not leaving Rob, if he was? I've heard people saying things like, oh, YB, you're wrong because Ronnie Shields has been out running his gums. YB, you're wrong. Eddie Hearn's a liar. Why would Eddie Hearn lie about that for? It don't make no sense. Where's the incentive there to lie about it? Especially when it will be such a blatant lie. If AJ does change camps, then Eddie will look completely stupid. And bear in mind, people, Eddie is the insider here. And by the way, from what I've heard, from people around the bits, they've told me. And then forget all that. Guess what? AJ is back in the UK. He was only here for 2 weeks. So I hate to break it to you. I told you before, actions speak louder than words. And that's why I said, I'll believe it when I see it. When it comes out, I'm moving, I'm changing things, I'll believe it. I'm not buying into all this whatever else. Because guess what? Like I said, he's back in the UK. He went out for 2 weeks on a holiday to see his charges, to see Buatsi and whatnot, and he thought he'd just do a little piece here and there. He ain't serious. Or he still thinks he's going to go to Rob. He still thinks Rob's decent. And to be honest with you, I can't even really blame him. Why? because 258 management, Eddie Hearn, Tony Bellend, Carl Froch, a lot of the even Dillian White, even Dillian Shillian White. Oh no, it's not Rob. Don't get me wrong. I get what Dillian was saying. In fact, I'll do a video on that as well. But what Dillian's saying is that AJ needs to be held responsible, which is true. But you can't make out, Rob knows it all. Rob don't know it all. It made me laugh. I think Dillian White and Tony Bellend talk about, but look, Rob's done it all with Carl Froch. Did you see Carl Froch? I wouldn't mind, yeah. And this is the thing as well. Even if you have one great fighter here, it still doesn't mean much. Look at Virgil Hunter. Virgil Hunter had one great fighter, and he's a naffle since. But guess what? Your man's Rob McCrappen, he don't even have an Andre Ward. He has a Carl Froch. Carl Froch got where he got. Nothing to do with Rob McCrappen. All the skills, all the main skills that got Carl Froch to where he was nothing. There was nothing taught. It was all innate to Carl Froch. And now we're seeing the same thing play out with AJ. He hasn't learned anything worthwhile in the last 10 years. Sorry, since about 2015. And even then he's gone backwards in my opinion. Because when you look at... Go and watch AJ versus Dillian White. Go and watch AJ versus Brazil. Go and watch AJ versus Akam. I've got videos coming on it. AJ's in there, yeah? Toe to toe. Slipping. Countering. Catching. Countering. Toe to toe. In the pocket. Doing all sorts. He ain't done that in years. He don't know how to do it, and he's forgot ever since Tony Sims. In a way, yeah, I'm mad that even Tony Sims, he's shilling. Tony Sims should have come out and said, Rob's crap. AJ, you need me back. But instead, he came out and started saying, yeah, well, Rob knows it all. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. But then again, it's all quite incestuous, you see. Because guess what? Tony Bellend, Dillian White, they're all Eddie Hearn linked. And Tony Bellend, he on the DAZN payroll now, so I think, was it Tony Bellend? He already got cautioned by Sky or something. So, you know what I mean? Tony Bellend, he don't want to rock the boat at DAZN. Yeah? He don't want to rock the boat. So and that's the thing you got to realise. A lot of these cats, it's all a bit, like I said, incestuous. And apparently, I think Rob McCrappen might be some sort of family. I think Eddie Hearn's cousin's married to him, or I don't know, one of them ones, with Rob. So it's all one of them ones. Yeah? But the real shame is that AJ, he just don't seem to get it. He still don't get it. And I'm on a serious note, I'm starting to question now. I'm starting to question AJ's IQ here. I really am. I hate to break it to you. If he doesn't leave Rob now, I think he might be. I think he might be speckhead. Seriously, I'm being honest. I think he may be speckhead or cloned, one or the other. Because I'm sorry, you ain't thinking straight. You ain't getting it. You're just not. Watch your fights. Watch AJ versus Dillian White. Watch AJ versus Takam. Look at the guy now. He'd go in them fights with spite. Gradually, as him and Rob, as Tony Sims left, and it was all Rob, gradually you see more and more influence. More and more Rob McCrappen influence. More and more light on your feet. That's it, nice and light. You can just see it in his performances. And I warned everyone for 2 years. Rob's not the kind of guy you need to be an aggressive fighter. Same as Fernando Alonso. Here's another one. What's his resume? What's Jobber Clayton's resume? What is Jobber Clayton's resume? Isaac Chamberlain. What's he done? It's mental. You got potentially one of the best fighters, or hopefully one of the best fighters in the world, with a team with 3 trainers, and not one of them has any clues. Not one of them has any skills. Not one of them has a clue what needs to be done. Because if they did, someone would have been saying, AJ, man, you're going in there with a boxer. You're going in there with a cruiserweight. Why don't we? And to be honest with you, I would have been critical. I would have been critical, yeah, if AJ had to come out and box for 4 rounds. I still would have said, why were you boxing for 4 rounds? But I'd have respected the team if they'd had a little bit of dynamism. Where they said, you know what, let's see how great we are. Because the whole narrative I understand is that apparently AJ and his team believed they wanted to prove they could outbox Usyk. And that's, well, it's not fair enough because it's stupid, but you know what? Fair enough. But if your team had any IQ, they would have said, alright, tell you what we'll do. We think we're great enough as a team. We think you're great enough as an athlete to outbox Usyk. But we also have 200 IQ like the YB. So what we're going to do is, we're going to develop a strategy to outbox him for 4 rounds. If it works out, we're Floyd Mayweather times by Mike Tyson, and we're in there just schooling the dude, then we'll carry on doing that. But if it doesn't work out after 4 rounds, we're going to develop another strategy and go to work. Where was that? I mean, is it that hard to make 2 strategies? There was a time when you have an A, B and a C plan. These dudes had an A plan, and it wasn't even really an A plan, because, like, fighting a southpaw, I'm not no expert, but fighting a southpaw, the reason I believe AJ was getting popped in the face with a straight left hand was because he was happy to concede the outside foot the whole time, which meant that when you give your opponent the outside foot, what it does is it lines up their left hand square with your face. That's why normally you see a lot of southpaws and orthodox dons getting tangled up, because everyone's battling for the outside foot. Everyone's essentially battling for the racing line on the right hand. AJ all night was happy to literally, he was conceding it. He was stepping in on the inside. And that's why every time he got popped, coming out and coming in, because every time he didn't have the racing line. And the fact they didn't teach him, and I'm not saying, so I've heard some people say, the outside foot isn't the be all and end all. It's somewhere to start, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? Fair enough. If you're that super duper high IQ, yeah, you can figure out a strategy and not use that, great, but that wasn't what they did. It wasn't like where AJ and his team are so high level, they found a way to beat Usyk without using that, or they found a way to, you know what I'm saying, to exploit, or whatever. They weren't doing that. They weren't anticipating, okay, we know Usyk's going to be going for the outside foot, so we're going to pull this off. They weren't doing that. They weren't countering his straight left hand. These are the basics, people. The basics. That's where you start when you're fighting a southpaw. It's shocking. But anyway, I don't want to carry on ranting on, but what did he say here? I'm gonna take the bull by the horns and do everything in my power to get things right. Well, let me tell you something right now, AJ. Just in case you are struggling with IQ. Everything in your power means you get rid of all of them. And I can't lie to you, I already saw the flags waving when he went to Ronnie Shields. Now I'm actually questioning, well, I'm not sure he's going to leave anyone, but the whole Ronnie Shields thing, the fact Ronnie Shields has come out and done those interviews, that from what I understand, that's not going to help his claim. I think he thought, I'm gonna lock myself in here and lock down AJ, but I don't know. I'm not so sure it's going to work out. But either way, the fact Ronnie Shields said, yeah, AJ came and he said he wants to bring in Fernando Alonso with him. That to me is a red flag. You want to bring in... You want to bring it... So you wait there a minute. Let's say he does make a fresh camp. Why would you bring in old, bad, washed up, no good dudes to something new and beautiful? Why do that for? You're a big, hard-back man. Honestly, I think he might have been... I say it every time, but I think he might have been cloned, Because this ain't the man. I've done a lot of research in the last few weeks, yeah, since the loss. I've done a lot of research of AJ in 2015, 2016. He was a man. He was like you'd think he'd be at 6'6" and 240 pounds. He's almost like I need to bring Fernando with me. What's wrong with you? You're a big hardback man. But bring Fernando for what? You'll make new friends, yeah? hang out with some real people, like, I don't know. Hang out with I'm sure you'll make new friends. The Charlos are there. There's proper people are there with proper skills. Because whatever you say about the Charlos, have they fought everyone? We don't know. But at the end of the day, they've got decent skills. And in my opinion, They're not bad influences. They've got confidence to an extent. They've got more confidence than anyone around AJ at the moment. And the other thing, the good thing about hanging around with people like that is they're like you. They've got their own money. Yeah? Not like Fernando. Fernando needs you. You are Fernando's lifeline. Too many people like that around you is no good. And that's the problem. AJ's built a team with people who are suckling off him. And it's no wonder AJ's soft like a tit. It's because everyone be suckling off him. He got to be soft. When you've got 30 man all suckling on you, is it really a big shock that he's turned into a big soft titty? I don't think so. Yeah? He's doing exactly what everyone around him wants to do. Be nice and soft and supple. Yeah? But like I said, listen, if you really want to do everything in your power, get rid of a lot of them. Because guess what? You can always go back. If it goes tits up with a fresh start, you can always go back. Yeah? What you think? It's not like, what, do you think people are going to be begging to work with Fernando? Do you think people are going to be begging to work with Jobber Clayton? Do you think people are going to be begging to work with Rob McCrappen? I don't think so, myself. And if they are, more for them. They ain't going nowhere. They're going to be sitting there, not doing much when you get back. Just like they was when you brought them into your camp. They weren't doing nothing. You was their come up. But that tells me, I've been saying this for a while with AJ, actions speak louder than words. Yeah? He keeps giving, at best, he gives us the words. Because we don't see the actions, we don't see the passion, we don't see the pissed offness in his actions. We hear it in words. That's no good in my opinion. I'm going to take the bulls by the horns. I'm going to do everything in my power. Again, words, what's that mean? Oh, I'm going to do everything in my power. What you mean, fly to the US for 2 weeks and try and nick some tips to bring back to your daddy, Rob? That's not taking the bull by the horns. That's not doing everything in your power. That's what you call patching again. More patches. Let me tell you something right now. If you have to learn things on YouTube, if you have to learn things by nicking things from camps, ask yourself, what have you got free trainers for? In my opinion, when you've got free trainers, you shouldn't need to nick nothing from no one. People should be coming to you to nick things. That's how I feel. The kind of athlete AJ is, in my opinion. And if you've got free top level trainers, people like, you know what I mean? Top fighters should be coming to your camp to say, well, what's he doing, man? Wow. Instead, one of the best fighters, one of the biggest names, free trainers deep, and you're the one having to go around. It's mad. I've never seen anything like it. You might let me know. When have we seen Alvarez? When have we seen Floyd Mayweather? When have you seen any of these big names? Like when Klitschko, people used to come to Klitschko's camp to see what was going on there. It's madness. But it shows you what all these people have in common. All of them have decent trainers around them. So they don't need to be doing this weird thing. You don't. That's why you had to bring in Fernando Alonso and Jobber. That's why you had to go to different camps. No one else ain't doing that historically.